Hello, welcome to this lesson on the LeanFT. In this lesson, we will learn how to automate the web applications and how to drive the web browsers using LeanFT. So let us start. First of all, we will be looking at simple web application or the website automation. So let us start with that. For that, open the IntelliJ, and before that, ensure that you have got all the extensions for the browsers installed in your system. So for that, you have to go to the LeanFT installation directory, that is over here in HP LeanFT. Over there you will find this installation directory, and then there are directories for each browser. So if you go inside that browser directory, you will find that there are extensions like .crx or the .xpi for the Firefox. .xpi for the Firefox. What you have to do is you have to install these extensions in the browsers. So I will explain you how I have installed the extension in the Internet Explorer. So go to the add-ons, manage add-ons, and then you will find the LeanFT extension or the add-on over there, and it is enabled. So make sure that your browser also contains this particular extension, otherwise you will not be able to launch this browser using LeanFT. So I'm gonna close this one. Let us wait for the IntelliJ to open. So the IntelliJ is open now, and I'll show you sample example to launch the Internet Explorer browser using LeanFT now. So I have already got one program for that. In here there is one Chrome test. So here what we have done is we have launched the Internet Explorer browser, but similarly you can launch any other browser. So if you type here browser type dot, it will give the list of all the browsers like Internet Explorer, Firefox, Mobile Center browser, Chrome, Edge, etc. So I'm gonna select Internet Explorer out of that, and then let us see how it drives the Internet Explorer automation. So once we get the browser instance, we can use the methods like navigate to particular web page URL. Then browser.sync method is required for a page to load. Otherwise you will not be able to LeanFT will not be able to identify the objects if the page is not loaded. It will say that object not found, and it will not wait for the page to load. Then here what we have done is we have found one object of the edit field class, and we have used this property to identify that particular object. Property is id and its value is fn. Then we have used the set value method inside of that particular object to set the value in that edit box. And then we have used the link.class and these properties to identify this link called as home, and then clicked on that. Again we have used browser.sync, and then we have checked that the title of the particular web page contains tutorial, and here is the message that what we are doing, like we are verifying the title of the home page. And we have also used the reporter object to report the event in the report created by LeanFT. And finally we have closed the browser, and SDK initialization and the cleanup happens in this base test. So let me show you that base test. So this add before annotation is used in the JUnit to execute a certain code before each test. So since we have extended base test, this method is also there before method in the scope of that class. So this gets called whenever we execute that test, and it initializes the SDK and reporter. And we have also got after method which cleans up the SDK. So I'm gonna execute this test for you. All it will do is it will launch the Internet Explorer and then set the value saga in that particular edit box, and then click on home link. So this test is started running now, and then now it will launch the Internet Explorer. As you can see, Internet Explorer is launched. It will navigate to the softpost.org website test page. Then it will identify the first edit box, that is first name on this page. So it will identify this particular edit box and then enter value inside that. So still the page is loading. Since we have used browser.sync method, it is gonna wait until this page load finishes, and only after that it will identify this first name edit box and then enter value in that. So it has set the value in the first name edit box now, and then it will click on the home link. As you can see, the home link is pressed, this one, and then it will check the title of that particular page. Finally it closes the browser. So that is how we can execute the simple browser test using LeanFT. And notice that you have to use this particular package, that is com.hp.lft.stk.web. Otherwise because inside this SDK we have also got the packages for Windows and Java, etc., like this Java, then WinForms, WPF. So all these packages contain the classes with the same names. Like if this standard, this particular web package contains say class called as window, then other package also contains the same class. So don't get confused with that. Very sure that you are using the edit field from this package only, because this class is also available in the other packages like WPF, Java, etc. So ensure that you are using the edit field from this package only. That's all about how you can automate simple web test using LeanFT. Then another thing that I want to tell you is how to use XPath and CSS. Now in this example I had used ID to identify the edit box, but instead of that you can also use XPath and CSS expressions. So here is one test that I've created, and you will notice that everything else remains same, like the way we have launched the browser, edit field.class, but in the description over here we have used .xpath property instead of ID, and we have given the XPath expression. So you can write the XPath expression for that particular edit box and then set the value inside that. So XPath expressions usually start with the tag name of the particular tag in the HTML source code, and they are always prefixed with this // and in the brackets you have to give the properties of that particular attributes, name of the particular element and the value of that particular element. So that is how we have written one XPath expressions and then set the value in that particular edit box. Similarly we have used the CSS selectors to identify the same edit box but using the different syntax, that is CSS. So in the CSS you don't need these double slashes, all you have to do is input and then attribute name and its value. Also note that in XPath we use the @ symbol just in front of the attribute name or the property name, and then we have set the value in that. So that's how you can use XPath and CSS also to identify the objects. Then let us see how to use the visual relational identifiers. Now I have created one test for that. So visual relational identifiers are used to identify the objects using the relations of the objects. So for example, let's say we have got one edit box and then just the to the left side there is a label called as the last name, like this one. There is a label last name, and just right in front of it there is a text box or edit box, and you have to identify the edit box using this label. So how do you identify the object in relative manner? So for that, first of all you have to identify the reference object. We have identified over here, that is E2, and now we have to find the edit box. So how do you find the edit box? Is this class, we know that its class is edit field, but while giving description you have to use this .vri property, and then you have to create new visual relation .set test object E2. So set test object is here, actually you have to give the reference object, so that is this one that we have already found, and then we have to set the relation. So relation can be horizontal, vertical. So we know that it is to the right side, so we are setting the horizontal relation, and we have also given the relation type, that is left and inline. So since the this test object or the reference object is to the left and inline to the test object, this object that we are trying to find, we have given left and inline, and then build the object, and finally we have set the value inside that, and then we have clicked home link. So let me run this program for you. It will take time, but we can run it definitely. And after this we will be looking at how to use the embedded browser control and fire the events and execute the JavaScript. So it will navigate to that particular website, and then over here you can notice that this first name and last name, these labels are to the left side of this particular edit box, and using that relation we have identified those edit boxes. Similarly you can give the vertical relation as well. If the object is right under some reference object, then you can use the vertical relation as well, top or bottom. So as you can see, some value is entered in the first name, and then it is also entered the value in the last name using the visual relation identifier. Then it is clicked on the home button or the home link. So that is how you use the visual relational identifiers in LeanFT. Now let us see how to use in the Windows application. If some developers have used the embedded browser control, how to automate that. So let's say there is a Windows application and there they have embedded one browser control inside that. How do you automate that particular browser? So for that you have to go to the bin directory, and over here there is one exe. So over here you will find that new exe is there, setting new browser control application.exe. Just click on that, and what you have to do is you have to navigate to the application, any Windows application that contains the browser control, and register that particular application. Once you do that, what happens is next time you spy on the browser control, embedded browser control, all the objects inside that browser control will be identified as web objects. So that way you have to register the application, register the browser control. Let us move on and then see how to fire the events and execute the JavaScripts on the web pages using LeanFT. So here we have used this particular run JavaScript method to execute the JavaScript. So what you have to do is browser.getPage, so returns the page object, and then we have to use the run JavaScript method. And over here you have to use the valid JavaScript. So document.body.inner.html is actually returns the source code of the HTML page. So here we have printed that, and then if you want to scroll in the web page, you can use this window.scroll_to method xy. This is the coordinate where we want to scroll. And if you want to check the document's ready state, you can use this. You can do that using the syntax. So that is how you can use the run the JavaScript in the web page using this particular method. And finally, how to fire the events. So over here we have used this particular syntax to fire the events. So we build the object, and then there is one special method called as fire event, and you have to give the event name using this particular syntax, event info factory.create event info, and click. So it actually invokes a click event or fires click event on the particular object. So that is how you can invoke the particular event on the object using LeanFT. So that is all about this automation of the web application. Initially we started with automation of the web application using the LeanFT. We have seen how to automate simple web test. Then we have also seen how to use the XPath and CSS to identify the objects. We have also seen how to use visual relational identifiers to identify the objects. Then we have seen how to register the browser control, embedded browser control within Windows application. Then how to fire the events and how to execute the JavaScript using LeanFT. Thanks for watching this video.